All right, we've got our attendees flying in here, but in order to be respectful of anybody's time, we're going to go ahead and just get started. I have the distinct pleasure of having Miss Onelly Hernandez on with me today, who has watched these webinars before and has graciously just popped in. And that's one of the things I noticed about you too. Like anytime you attend these, Onelly, you're not just sitting there listening in the background, that you're actively participating and you're adding notes and you're giving advice, which we just love. So we thought it was high time that we had Onelly on as an actual guest. So thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here and share all I know.
Yes, share away. So we always like to have every guest kind of just give their backstory and kind of what led you to health coaching. So go ahead.
Yeah, to me, what led me into this was I used to be a certified nurse assistant for like 10 years, and seeing all this, elderly people because that's where I work, in the nursing homes, or I did home care, and then seeing them take that I need to take all these pills in order to be alive, or this is the normal part of being old and whatnot. Now I have to take all these things. And then my own health too started to decline a little bit. I gained a few pounds after I have my kids, and too much stress, and I was addicted to sugar and all of the carby foods and all of that. And then I said, I need to do something for myself before it gets worse, because in my family, being Latina, it runs the diabetes runs in the family. And then I said, I just don't want to get there when I get older. So I Google everywhere, and then I found Primal, and I'm like, hey, let me go in here. I align with what the teaching and the curriculum and everything, because I follow Dr. Canberry too, because of his keto thing, and I was enrolling and engaged into all of that and with my own transformation. And long story short, I did Primal, I think, enroll in 2018, and then finished the course in October 2019. And from there I started, doing my health coaching business. I took the 21-day one that we got and translated in Spanish, and I was selling that for $75.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. And I got a few people, because I did a kind of like a little webinar at my sister's church, where she's one of the youth, whatever, I don't know how to say it in English, but she's like in charge of the little youths in there. And then she gave me the opportunity to do that keto webinar that I talk about, this is not normal for us and whatnot. And we did some breakfast, healthy keto breakfast, and everybody was loving it, asking me a bunch of questions. And I said, okay, by the end, you guys, you can join this program. It's $75. And I got, I think, 7 ladies in there, and they love the program. And then after that, I keep launching it and getting some results, and they love it. But yeah, that's kind of like a little bit of
how it started. That's great. And I do want to dive into why you started there. It may just be that's what was available at the time before we came out with some of our other resources. But do you mind winding back a little bit? And we kind of glossed over your own journey. You have a pretty, a story that I think a lot of people can resonate with in terms of what you struggled with, what it was like living that way, getting proper treatment, what had you kind of reading books and taking matters into your own hands. Do you mind rewinding a little bit?
Yeah. So I tend to do the ADHD brain. So yes, I got diagnosed later after I finished the Primal. I got diagnosed with Hashimoto's in 2020, and I was getting my symptoms, tired. I didn't want to wake up in the morning, and I gained a few pounds, the COVID-15, everybody gained. I wasn't feeling myself. I was yelling at my kids and, didn't want to wake up. And then I talked to my doctor, like, maybe we do some testing, because my husband has Hashimoto's too. And I
Oh,
said, I see some of the relation here, and they didn't want to test for other than TSH and T4.
right.
And everything was fine. It's normal, that's the normal part of being a mom. Maybe it's because of pandemic, too much stress, the kids are home, we don't know what the heck we're doing. And I'm like, no, I know my body. I know this is not me. Something is wrong. I push, they did the thyroid antibodies, and then they said, yeah, you were right. You have Hashimoto's. And I knew it. I knew it. And then I started there even more, dialing in a little bit more into eating more of trying the autoimmune protocol, and then transition again to my primal paleo again. And that has helped me, but it's been, struggling to get the diagnosis. Doctors dismiss you. Even I see even American regular, white Caucasian, but with being me Latina, it's even worse because we get more dismissed by doctors because it's
Oh,
like they don't treat us the same way as they might treat somebody else. And they always think like it's all in your head or whatever, you know. But I advocated for myself and wasn't afraid to speak up and tell them, this is not me, this is wrong, let's do this. And they listen. But I don't have that doctor anymore. I have a
smart.
different one. Yeah. Yeah, don't be scared to fire your doctors. You can get
Yeah.
a different
You know,
one
and
because
I have heard that of I love the fact that you felt empowered to fire your doctor. I know people of other ethnicities that have felt the same way, that kind of felt dismissed. It's interesting to hear you say that as well. And I've also heard a lot of women feel as though,
oh yeah.
just because hormonally we're more complicated than men, that a lot of stuff can be dismissed a little bit. And it's unfortunate. And it's the problem with a top-down approach to a bottoms-up problem, right? Health is a very individualized, I guess, journey, right? We're all a little bit different. There are things that we might have in common with others where we might be able to aggregate, common symptoms or things that are more common in men than women, or more common in certain ethnicities than others, or age and what have you. But at the end of the day, we're all different. And I just feel like, depending on the doctor you're looking at, if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, you know? And when you are in a situation where you have a practitioner that just for whatever reason, with their own personal bias, seems to be dismissing you, fire them. I absolutely love that. Christine is saying similar thing happened to me, and I have fired 3 doctors in the course of 2 years. I'm also Latina with hypothyroidism. And here's the thing too, I find this common in particular with hypothyroidism.
Yes.
So you've got, it's like a double whammy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you have practitioners that might just be a bit dismissive of a certain population for whatever reason, their own biases, but then you have this issue around hypothyroidism where a lot of the symptoms can have commonalities with other concerns. And so it just gets dismissed. It's too much stress, or you're not sleep, all of this other stuff. And we interviewed Danielle Maitive on one of our podcast episodes, and she very similar. And she heard the same thing. They ran the test and everything looks fine.
Yeah.
Right. And she said the same thing you said. Well, although I think she used more colorful language, it was more like F you, I'm not fine. I don't feel right. I am not, this is not normal. Right. And went another direction. So you pushed back and you got the right tests and properly diagnosed with hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's in particular. What did you find in terms of the clinical protocol compared to kind of what you help clients with in your program? Is that what your program does? Do you have a focus on Hashimoto's? Okay.
It's focused on Hashimoto's and autoimmune disease. But what I notice is doctors, they don't tell you Hashimoto's is an autoimmune disease. They don't tell you that, they admit it. And then because I was a coach, I knew better. But other people that are not, they don't know. And the only thing they give you, doctors, is either levothyroxide, Synthroid. Those are the only options you have. If you talk about other type of pills, because I read the what's her name, Elle Ross
El Russ.
book.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Paleothyroid
read
solution.
her book, and she says about other pills and stuff. And when I go to the doctors and show them, here's the book, this is what it says, these are other type of medications too that I can try. Oh no, we cannot prescribe you these. These are the only two that your insurance will cover or whatever. These are the only two that we are allowed to do. So it's very conventional. They don't tell you anything to change diet, lifestyle, anything. All they say, take this pill, come back in 6 months and we'll check your thyroid again. And it's only TSH and T4. That's it.
Yeah.
And that doesn't tell you the whole picture. It's more than that.
So the doctors that you presented, hey, I like this protocol. This makes sense to me. I want to try these medications. Are those the ones you fired, or were those even the new people?
I fire them. And then the new one that I have, he's still the same. There's nothing they can do because of the insurance and stuff, because they might flag them. That's what I hear, that they might flag them if they ask for certain tests, like at least the antibodies and stuff like that. And they don't want to get in trouble, because then they cannot order for other patients if they get flagged by the insurance and all of that stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I gotta go out of pocket and do my own testing. I don't know if you heard of these labs, Paloma Health, there's Let's Get Checked. You can get a full thyroid panel at home. You order online and then you get that. But yeah, it's unfortunate that doctors cannot treat you the right way,
So for everybody listening here that's waiting, that thinks that when health coaches can have access to insurance billing, thinks that's going to be the holy grail for growing your business, freaking think again, right? So these are doctors that are afraid to give you half a chance, right? That are afraid to go because they're afraid they're going to get flagged, they're going to get sidelines, cut off, something. It's the insurance company here that is driving the bus. It is not the practitioner. And that is the biggest problem with the current healthcare system and model. And it's why health coaching is growing like a weed. It's why we're seeing conventional doctors, more and more of them saying, screw this, leaving the insurance model and going the more concierge medicine model, more of the functional medicine route. So we're seeing this happen, which is fantastic. But, this is something that comes up about, gosh, when are insurance companies going to get smart, or when are insurance companies going to cover health coaching? I don't know. I actually have a little bit of an update on that. Maybe we can talk about it a little bit, but honestly, it's not the holy grail you think it is. We very well could find ourselves in handcuffs if we are relying on insurance companies to pay the bill. So Julie Graham is saying, yes, my clients are so disinclined to go against their doctor's orders. Part of health coaching is to empower and educate them so that they can either be a partner with their doctor or move on. Absolutely. The doctor is God phenomenon is real. Not saying doctors aren't necessary, but patients feel like they're not allowed to have questions or have done some of their own research. Spot on. And Julie, I commend you on your typing skills, because mine would have had like 8 typos in there. So I commend you on
the writer. Julie is a writer. That's why she writes.
Oh my gosh. Molly says, what about seeing a naturopath who will order these tests? That could be an option.
I did that. Yeah, I did that.
There you go. Found another solution. Or getting rupahealth.com for yourself as a health coach. Okay, maybe we can talk about this. This is apparently a platform for ordering labs. I've got another solution for you guys. In addition to Rupa Health, is to take a look at UPure, which is the practitioner side of Novus Health, something that we can talk about later. You may have to pay out of pocket so you can get the labs. I don't have it yet, but plan to. Ulta Labs is another one. If you know what to order, the client can direct order it themselves. Christine, I ended with a more holistic doctor, but doesn't take insurance, so it's out of pocket and it's 1,000% worth it, 100%. Julie, haha, thanks. So yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts? And so did you go more of the naturopathic doctor route, functional
Yeah,
medicine? What route did you take?
I
Yeah.
did. When I got diagnosed, I said, I know doctors are not gonna treat me right because I saw it with my husband. I have to
Mhm.
go with him and show them the book, like here, the proof, and nothing. They still don't dismiss me. So I'm like, okay, okay. So I
Yeah.
found this, I Google online locally, and I found this guy not far away from my home, and he ran some tests. We did a hormone one because he's a naturopath, so they
Mhm.
do all these functional lab work. And then I got diagnosed with SIBO, so he gave me a treatment for that, some supplements and stuff, introduced me to the autoimmune protocol, and that's when I went down that rabbit hole, and it
Okay.
did work. So it was back and forth with that for 4 months and a half because of the SIBO.
Mhm.
But then I was much better, no more tired, more energy, lost a few pounds, those COVID-15
Yeah.
extra ones. And they do listen more. They spend more time with you, give you like really good notes. Doctor don't give you none of that stuff.
Right.
When I go to my regular doctor, nah, they don't do anything in the naturopath full-blown email with bunch of notes, recommendations, and
Mhm.
handouts and bunch of stuff. So, but it gets pricey.
It
It
does.
gets pricey.
Yeah, I found that to be the case too. I mean, I didn't have Hashimoto's. I was just chronically unwell, and it might. But the doctor I went to by licensure was a chiropractor, but he also was like acupuncture and Chinese medicine kind of guy. But I paid out of pocket for everything. The only thing my insurance paid for was some labs. There
Mm-hmm.
were some labs my insurance would pay for. Everything else I had to pay out of pocket. But he was kind of used to that patient paying out of pocket model as a chiropractor. Not all insurance companies pay for it. Same thing with acupuncture and Chinese medicine. So if you can find a practitioner that functions outside that model that you can partner with, find someone that you can refer people to, or work for with yourself is phenomenal. Okay, so I think I misunderstood your trajectory before we started chatting. So you had sort of already started your health coaching practice prior to this
Yes.
you were doing, and then Hashimoto's changed the game for you. So what was it that sparked the interest in health coaching to begin with prior to all
The
that?
the setting of working as a certified nurse assistant in the nursing home.
Okay. Oh, got it.
Coming
Yes.
with the family history of diabetes and all of that. That's normal. Everybody's gonna get cholesterol medicine and metformin and all of these things. And I'm like, no, that's not right. But yeah, I
Oh
try
my
with
God.
my mom and dad, but parents don't listen to their kids.
No, I found that to be true as well. So were you doing your 21-day total body transformation, your 21-day program? Were you using the old Vimeo platform or did you build it yourself in another platform? How did you get that
I
started?
build it and I translate it and I build it in practice better. Because at
Okay.
that time I was doing Michelle Liotta's
Yeah.
fast track. And so I put it in there, I translated it, put it in there, and made a Facebook group because it was in Spanish, and then some people couldn't access the platform because they didn't know how to do it. And I'm like, okay, and Practice Better doesn't have that capability yet. I've been pushing it since I joined. But yeah, I had to do a little bit of workarounds, and yeah,
Yeah.
but it worked. That 21-day, that's what got me started.
You know what I love about and by the way, everybody who enrolls at Primal Health Coach Institute has the low tech version of our 12-week program and the low tech version of the 21-day program. And both of those programs are available in Primal Pro and now available on both platforms now, although Onelly was first to the game with that apparently. So you do have access to those. And here's what I think is phenomenal about starting with something like that out of the gate is it's not a big ask. It's not a long time. So people are like, sure, I'll give it a go, and $75, it's like a low, I think makes phenomenal marketing that doesn't cost you a dime and you actually make money at, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. 10 people, 75, you can sell it. Because I added a few meal plans from that Clean Life.
Yeah.
And they love it because I gave them one meal plan for each week, everything keto based, kind of like an example. I had to translate all of that stuff in Spanish, but it worked. They like it. It was like you said, a small ask, easy for them to join, not too long. Some people fall off track like
Of
they
course.
always do, and they say like, you know what, Onelly stuff didn't work. And I'm like, well, did you do all the things that you were supposed to be doing? Because a friend of my sister from the church was saying that, and I'm like, she didn't follow through because she wasn't doing it. And my sister was like, you know what, we were somewhere and then she was eating pasta when she wasn't supposed to. I'm like,
That's hilarious.
no
So
wonder.
This is where we kind of get into the nuance of programming and
Yes.
what people are supposed to be following and actually coaching. Obviously, in a 21-day program like that, it's really hard to really coach in something like that. It's really more of a program for people to follow. And look, that's fine. Right. And as like I said, I think it's an early way an easy way to expose a population of people to these basic principles. And you're going to, like you said, there's going to be a portion, especially in a group program like that where they can hide.
Yes.
They'll buy into it because there's something that led them to it, but they really aren't ready for change. And so a group program like that is really not going to help individuals that are still in that contemplation stage. They're not pre-contemplation. They jumped into a relatively inexpensive short program, but those people are definitely still in the contemplation stage. They kind of recognize that something needs to change. And if something seems cheap and easy, I'll give it a try, but without a lot of support, it's going to be a lot of false starts. So tell me so first of all, kudos to you too, in translating all of that into Spanish. Awesome.
Yeah.
That we've talked about that as a team is offering that our concern is like every time we do an update, now we got to update everything in multiple languages, but we'll figure that out. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Side note. Okay. So are you still offering your 21-day program or have you migrated over to whatever you're doing now?
Now I'm just doing one-on-one and getting a few clients here and there. Right now, what it's been booming more since last year, it's me helping other health coaches with Practice Better.
Yeah.
And that's where kind of like I'm going a little bit more these days, but I'm still, because it's still in me that I want to help my community. And because I know I didn't have anybody when I was going through all these things to support me and say, or someone that will speak my language and know where I'm coming from, and that I know that I don't have this much money, or how can I do this, buy groceries and stuff when I'm not making enough or whatever, so that's still my goal, to help my community. But Practice Better, it's where I'm leaning more now.
Yeah, it's always interesting to me when I hear health coaches' trajectory, and I don't know how I feel about it, in terms of, I know a lot of people that got started and they were building momentum and things were really going well. And then pivot, some other opportunity caught your attention that had you busy. Michelle Leota went through this too, right? She had her own kind of health coaching business, and then she kept getting questions from coaches about how she did it. And the next thing you know, that's really the main focus of her business. And she's no longer health coaching because she seemed called to do that. And it's a skill she had that a lot of other people didn't have. It was another sort of need in the marketplace. And I think people make a decision, all right, well, there's lots of other health coaches out there that might be able to kind of serve that population, but there aren't too many people that have this knack with this particular system. And I can really help people get up and running and started. And yours already is. So as clients come in and hit your purview, it's easy then for you to just enroll them in there because it's already built and you're ready to go. So I have a sidebar question for you. So given the population that you wanted to focus on, the Latina community, and you're finding, so tell me what you're finding, because there's, in terms of affordability, do you find is that kind of, I think, part of the revenue struggle here is when you focus on an aspect of the community that you want to serve that can't afford your services, you kind of also need a secondary source of income because there aren't that many that may be able to afford one-on-one coaching. Have you, so this is a multi-part question, sorry to throw it all in you at once. You know, is that part of the struggle there is I have this niche that I really want to serve and there aren't that many that can afford one-on-one coaching. So I'm also going to do this because it's another need. Is there a reason why you don't want to continue to do the group coaching where you might be able to charge a little bit less? Too many moving parts? What's going on there?
It might be too many moving parts for me right now. And I'm
Mhm.
trying to focus on helping more people one-on-one.
Yeah.
Because with the group, like I said, they were hiding in there and saying they were doing the things when they weren't doing the things. So I did have successful with other Latinas that they could afford because they were in a higher position. They
Mhm.
one of them that I had, she was kind of like the office manager for a psychologist.
Yeah.
And then the other one, she had she was a professor at a college here in Boston. So she
Okay.
was making good money. So she paid
Yeah.
me my 3-month course that I built when I was in Michelle Liotta's fast track. And that went well. If I can find more of these ladies
Right.
that are professional Latinas, you know, and stuff, but it's a little bit hard to find them. And they don't know what a health coach is and what we can do for them. And sometimes if you're asking high ticket, they're like, you know, this is too much,
Mhm.
it's out of my budget or whatever. And then I tried again one-on-one last year, doing kind of like a little bit lower ticket, monthly, and still I think this particular lady wasn't ready for that. She wasn't as committed. She was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And then it's a 2-month commitment. And then she ghosts me. And I'm like, okay, it's not
Yeah.
my fault. It's there. She wasn't ready yet.
Yeah.
But yeah. And what was the other part? Maybe I
So in terms of, because I'm just thinking in terms of yours, because we talk a lot about picking that niche, that group you really want to serve. It's clear to me your community is really important to you.
yeah.
Wanting to be able to kind of support that Latina community and the innate challenges there. And maybe we can do that on this webinar a little bit later, kind of troubleshooting ways you might be able to find that that sweet spot. And I can share with you how I've done some stuff that was kind of, well, maybe we'll just talk about it now. So, I mean, I had, I don't know, a real soft spot for that young new mom, right?
Yes.
So that relatively young new mom, right? Like 20s, early 30s. Holy cow, what just happened to my body? It's not my own anymore. But a lot of times these women, again, were early in their sort of life and professional cycle. They didn't have a ton of money to spend on stuff like that. So I didn't do large groups. What I would do is I would do small group. So I would tell them they could bring a friend. Do you have a couple of friends that are in the same boat as you? Inevitably, the answer is yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So instead of one person paying $1,200, I have 4 people paying $400. So a little bit more. It's a total of $1,600 instead of $1,200. And that's to compensate me for, I have more than one move. I have moving parts now, right? I've got 4 people, but it allowed me to be paid the same or more for my time. And those coaching calls were small group coaching calls. So all of those women all know each other. They hold each other accountable to it and not showing up. And it created a nice little support group without being too big of a group to kind of get lost in. So that might be one sort of pivot or one sort of trick you can try. If it's really important that you stay in this Latino group, and it's really important that you want them to have that better experience than this large group that's kind of almost easy to enroll in, but they never really get results. I have found that to be a nice happy medium.
Yeah.
Just a little tip. But anyway, so what you've basically got is this love of working one-on-one with Latina women and struggling a little bit to kind of find the ones that can really afford you. We can probably even puzzle that out, even with people that might have suggestions in this group. But
Mhm.
you have found this other niche of currently certified health coaches, predominantly primal health coaches, but I'm sure you know many others
Yeah.
that need some help in getting a signature program built and getting it uploaded and practice better. So I would love for you to speak to your experience because you didn't have Primal Pro in the beginning. You built your program from scratch. Do you
Yes.
mind kind of giving us a little bit of a lowdown or a rundown of the steps and the process you went through in building that?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a challenge because you don't know what the heck you're doing. But when I did Michelle Leota's stuff, she walked us through how to create our own course. So that helped me give me kind of like the steps. Okay, what is my signature method? What am I gonna be teaching these people, walking them through? But finding some information, sometimes I was like, oh my God, what am I going to be writing for this? And what I have found is buying some done for you courses from other people that sell online. That has helped because that's kind of like the course has already been done. All I have to do is go in and personalize it and add my own thing and make it my own, and then break it down into weekly and whatnot and put it in practice better, nicely organized, make it look beautiful in there, and get some people go through that. But yeah, it is that helped me a lot, the done for you stuff, because
Yeah.
otherwise I wouldn't have been able to come up with the content
Awesome.
my own.
So
Yeah.
where did you find those? Where did you find those other done for you programs?
So I got from Rachel Philman.
Mhm.
She's really known. Yourhealthcoachbiz.com.
Yep.
Really famous. She did IIN.
Mhm.
And then who else? And I got Dr. Kim Foster too. She's another one that has really
Yeah,
good
we had her on
courses.
our podcast, Dr. Kim Foster.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
She has three done for you 3-month courses that are really good, well done, robust, and then I just add sprinkle my primal paleo AIP kind of thing in there, making my own, and it's easier than building it from scratch,
Mhm.
coming up with the content yourself. But now that there's AI, now I play with ChatGPT too.
Ooh,
That
what a
can
great
help,
hack.
but there is a lot of you got to be careful with ChatGPT, because some stuff, it's not real, because like
Mhm.
the AI might make stuff, so you have to be extra careful there. So that's why if I'm
Yeah.
gonna buy anything, I buy it from the source that I know.
Yeah.
um
What a great hack though is to because look, there's no absence of people out there trying to schlep their wares of done for you programs out there, and if the price is right and you can buy it and then turn around and customize it. So how is it delivered? Was it sort of low tech in like a PDF format and you just copy pasted everything into practice better, or how did it
I
work?
normally I like to do video modules, so I
Okay.
recorded, I made everything copy pasted, because where Rachel Philman stuff comes in a Word document, and then she gives you a bunch of stuff. She gives you the sales page, email marketing, like the whole thing
Yeah.
built up for you. So I just copy pasted this and build it in Canva, make it look pretty, the slide decks, pre-record those, and then make it look pretty and practice better, automate it and all of that stuff. And then sell that way. Because what I have found is people with TikTok have low short attention span, and
Mhm.
me being ADHD, or I know, because I get to the point fast. You're too slow. So if you have the videos that are like short videos, 5 minutes, a little lesson here, like about drinking more water or whatever, make it short, and don't put too much stuff in there, because people get their eyes glazed over and they're like, oh my God, what's she
Yeah.
talking about?
Right.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's so funny because when I think back to my early health coaching career, the handouts that I like so long. And then I started to do videos. What I did is I put together PowerPoint presentations and then I narrated the PowerPoint presentation. And I could not get these things at under 30 minutes because I felt the need to tell them all the things rather than the highlights. And save all the things and the details for a coaching conversation. I'm like, they're going to have all the information they need. They're going to go out and be tremendously successful. Pat myself on the back for a job well done. Meanwhile, they're like completely lost and they were able to absorb maybe one or two things. But I love hey, go out and find someone that you trust in a program that you feel you can tailor to you, and just, if you've got the money, go ahead and buy it. That's why we wrote Primal Pro, actually. So before that came out, we would do, we would send out surveys, and sometimes we'd get, whatever, there's thousands of you now, folks. We have thousands of graduates now, and maybe we'd get like 100 back. It's like trying to herd cats, trying to get people to like answer an email. And when we send you so many emails, most people miss it. But we also just get feedback when we do like other calls and conversations, and what we kept hearing from people in terms of what had them stuck. Sometimes it is just, it's my own kind of imposter syndrome. I'm having a hard time getting out of my own way, or I don't have time. But what kept coming up is, I don't know how to write the signature program. Like, I'm stuck on that. And it was certainly confidence. A big chunk of it was time. And it's like, it's 3 months later, I'm not even close. I've written like an introductory chapter and that's about it. So that kept coming up, and we kept coming up as a team. Should we just go ahead and give them something other than the sort of low tech version that's already in there? The idea behind the low tech version that's already in the program, guys, was to give you a starting place. Here's a 12-week recommended flow of information. Here's handouts, questionnaires, but you have to pick a platform. You've got to decide how you want to deliver it and what medium. You got to put it all into your own words. You got to brand it. You got to do all this other stuff. So, and we felt that was important, that it was part of the growth process of becoming a coach. But the piece that was missing was the big chunk of our graduates are working adults with a family, that it's taking a long time to get the stuff up and running. So that's why we finally wrote Primal Pro. And again, totally tailorable, right? So it's all written, it's all primal-ish, primal paleo. It's all, we handpicked a platform. We now have two. We're thrilled to be on Practice Better. So, you can buy something like Primal Pro or any one of these other programs, or certainly go ahead and write your own. Everybody's going to be in a different place. There are some people here that have very distinct audiences that are going to want a very distinct program. And so where the challenge may be is, how do I get this organized in a platform so that it looks really slick? And this is where I think you can really be helpful for people. So Julie says, Onelly, have you created a version of the PB programming with the Primal Pro? That would be awesome. It's in there now. Primal Pro is available in Practice Better. It's all pre-built. It's not customized though, and Onelly will be able to help you
customize. I'm playing around, finishing mine and customizing it, branding it, make it look pretty, talking to my AIP and Hashimoto's thing. And it's looking nice. I can show a preview if you want to.
Yeah, that would be cool. Holly's saying, I love using Primal Pro with my clients. Awesome. So look, feel free if you feel like kind of sharing your screen and showing people. So for those of you that especially are concerned about HIPAA compliance, especially those of you that don't really have a fitness focus or don't really feel the need to have an interface that was essentially built for an app interface. If that's not as big a deal for you, then I think you're going to like Practice Better. It also has a few more pieces of functionality that Coach Catalyst doesn't have yet. So if you want to, you can feel free to share your screen and kind of show people what you've built out. That'd be cool.
Look, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Look at how pretty it is.
So this is what I did. Do a little welcome here. I name it. This is the name of my program. So you can rename it. We can do add and take off anything we want. Because on the welcome section, I like to do this. And then give them kind of like some housekeeping rules, what are, the things that they need to get done, some forms that I asked them to sign and fill out. And then I do here on the day one, that's what I do, make it look kind of like a little bit prettier. So it's like branded, matching with your colors.
Right.
I'm
But
still working on
the format of how we had originally built it still all looks the same, but the colors are all you. It doesn't scream Primal to me in terms of colors or branding or anything like that. It's beautiful.
And then these pictures, it doesn't come with that.
Did you create these images in Canva?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I do. And then the handouts, I'm trying to build them in Canva with my brand colors and all of that. So still going through that. It's not done yet, but it will get done. So these things, so that way it looks way better than just what we get when we get it, the plain template of the course. Yeah, a little bit personalized. I add some emojis here and there, make it look a little bit fun or something.
It looks like Onelly for sure.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, so you've got week one, and so those are all the lessons that we wrote, and you're able to just go in and just here and there. So this is essentially everything we've written, and then Onelly went in and added, maybe changed a couple of terms, added her own colors, added her own graphics, clearly she likes emojis, and that's part of her personality, and no doubt the women that she's working with love them. It personalizes things and makes it have that sort of signature Onelly feel to it.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was, so in order to get this uploaded, people buy Primal Pro and then you're given a code. You type the code into a special place in Practice Better, and it will it'll populate. Now
it will populate.
It just literally pops in there. It's like magic, right? But there are
automatically
some things
in there.
Yeah. And then you can go in and change your colors and update things. But I had a question. There was something on the tip of my tongue that I wanted to ask you. So in terms of your images, you went into Canva to put those in there. And then, but was everything else pretty simple in terms of like, how much time do you think it took you to go from, oh, I entered the code to kind of getting it to where you are right now in terms of hours spent?
Maybe if you have, because whatever, we have a life, we have kids, but if you can block out 3 hours, you can get all the images nice and pretty in Canva with the days, day one, whatever. But I think between couple 2-3 hours, you get it that way. And then you can start, because you need to start thinking about the content, because it's not personalized for my Hashimoto's thing. So I need to start adding, where is this information relates to women with Hashimoto's? And then I start adding all of that in there. I play with ChatGPT to help me with that too. Yeah.
With phrasing. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then, because once you have it in as your own, there's other stuff that you need to do too. It's not just branding it and make it look pretty. You need to automate it too.
Okay. So Neil is saying, I like Primal Pro too. I just completed the 21-day challenge with a group of 15 people. Love it. So Molly's asking, what level of Practice Better do you need to get Primal Pro integrated? Any level actually can integrate it. Where it changes is, maybe you can speak to that then.
Yeah, they need to do, they have to have at least the Pro version. That's the one that you can do fixed date, or the Plus plan. That's the one that I have. That's $89 a month. So you can add your own brand color, so it looks with my branding, and you can have the option to have evergreen as a course. So I have it as an evergreen, so that way it's easier for people to enroll all the time, because I'm planning on launching this either by this year or beginning next year.
Yeah. So you need it's not the base level, but the next level up will give you the ability to use the code to copy and duplicate a program, but you will only have the fixed date option. So for those of you either running groups or for those of you that prefer to coach in a way where all your clients are starting at the same time, they might not be in a group feel. You're still kind of coaching them one-on-one, but you want to kind of have all your clients truncated in a whatever. Then evergreen would work fine. Not evergreen. Fixed date would work fine for you. Yeah. But if you want the ability to do like rolling enrollments and have people start at any time, you're going to need to go up that next level.
Yeah. And then the problem with the fixed date is because after the date has passed, let's say we start this month and whatnot, and then the program finished next month or something like that, whatever the end date, if you enroll someone after those dates already passed, they'll have access to all the modules all at once. And we don't want that. We want to drip it. So then you'll have to be duplicating that course all the time. And then you're going to start running out of memory in Practice Better, and you don't want that. So that's why I highly recommend getting the Plus plan, because you do it as an evergreen and it's done once. You brand it, make it look pretty, automated, so it's on autopilot. And then you can have your group coaching in there, because they have a kind of like a Facebook. It looks kind of like a Facebook group part that you can do on all your courses that you have in Practice Better. So people can chat there, asking questions. And it's everything in one platform, because sometimes with Facebook, people has been hacked, or they've been blocked, or whatever, banned, or the Facebook group doesn't populate on their feed too much, and then they're not engaging as much. So that's why I like Practice Better, because you can have, everything in one place.
I love that. So, and please excuse any background noise, because the neighbors just came over and my girls are like, yay, my friends are here. So I apologize in advance for background noise here. So I love that has that community feature to it too, because you're right. After a certain point, people just start to, first of all, you have no doubt there's some clients that just aren't on Facebook, first of all. And second of all, it's two places they have to look to gain support. And so if it can be all handled in one platform, that's even better. Julie's asking, Onelly, do you have a package for Primal Pro branding?
Yes, I do.
Ooh,
I will help you look
Julie.
it just the way that I show you. I will help you make it look just like that. So it's all pretty, fancy. I even will help you, giving you ideas if your target market is different than mine, that it's not Hashimoto's, it's maybe blood sugar or whatever, or hormones. I will help you, give you some ideas with that, because that's what I do with a bunch of other practitioners. I even help doctors, naturopath doctors, setting up their Practice Better in there.
I love that. Yeah. Julie's giving you some props. I just want to say that Onelly does an amazing job. I feel the way she branded my program was way beyond how I would have known to do it myself. Awesome. Yeah. Yay. Thanks, Julie. Yeah.
Julie looks really nice.
I think this can be intimidating for a lot of people. Feeling like they got the branding right, feeling like it looks like them, and not really knowing. I mean, I am not a technology person. I mean, if you've heard me on any of these podcasts or webinars, we all know it's like a running joke. So I could totally get why that's intimidating for people. And so here's the deal. Like, Onelly knows Practice Better and Onelly knows Primal. She knows both. And she's able to kind of help you take the stuff that's in Primal Pro and tailor it to your particular audience based on kind of what it is you're trying to accomplish. So it's Onelly she just volunteered one day when we had the webinar with Brittany on Practice Better. And you just kind of volunteered and said, hey, look, I know how to do this really well. I'm actually doing it with a bunch of people. It's like this weird side business that suddenly is like lucrative now. And there's a lot of people that need help with this. So look, guys, if buying Primal Pro, buying up Practice Better, and paying Onelly gets you up and running in 3 freaking days.
Yeah.
Wow. Why wouldn't you do it? If you've got the financial means to do it, then awesome. And you're sort of off to the races. Because
it's one and done. Like, you pay me, I set it up, and it's done. You don't have to do it again. Yeah. It's all done. It's a one-time investment that you can get all that money back when you launch it.
Your first client, really. I mean, that's the way I look at it. I mean, Primal Health Coaches get a little bit of a discounted price on that upfront fee. If you bought the all access pass, there's no ongoing residual. Which, by the way, for those of you that have been toying with the idea of the all access pass, but it's like a $6,000 difference. We now have financing for that, longer term financing for that, if that's something you're interested in. But so I would love for you to just some parting words here in terms of what you think are, I don't know, your top few things that people need to consider when building out their program. What do they need to have top of mind? What's worth investing in? I mean, Canva, I think, is kind of a no-brainer. It doesn't cost a lot, but lay it out for us.
If you are starting off as a brand new coach, you just finished the Primal certification, I highly recommend getting the Primal Pro, so you can get at least a course, so you can get started with something. And then investing in Canva, because you can do so many things with Canva, brand all those handouts that comes with the program, brand it with your colors and your fonts and everything. Another thing, it will be Zoom. You need to have Zoom integrated in order with Practice Better, another platform that I highly recommend, because you can do everything in Practice Better. You can run group coaching courses, sell just the course by itself, or package with some coaching sessions. You can do anything with Practice Better. And I've been playing with it since I graduated from Primal. And you can do many, many things in Practice Better. The sessions that people book with you, your discovery calls, you can set them up that way there. I have set up lead magnets in Practice Better, and having landing pages. When I didn't have my website, I created landing pages in Canva. People don't know this, but if you have the Canva Pro, you can build a website there just to get started, So you are just getting started, you're a brand new coach, get Canva Pro, build a website, because the domain is not going to look pretty unless you can invest a little bit more and get a domain name and make it so the domain name, it's like, all of that integrated. But and you can do that through Canva too, because they sell those there too.
Yeah. Boy, I wish maybe you can train me, Onelly. I wish I knew how to use Canva better. I like made a business card one day and I was all proud of myself, and I learned how to kind of make a Instagram post thing. But if you can if you can learn those two tools, so learn Practice Better well, Onelly can help you. Learn how to use Canva better. Again, I'm a neophyte when it comes to learning how to use that. And I've been able to figure out a few things, and I've found it super helpful. Some sort of Zoom is pretty inexpensive, guys. There's even a free version to try to get, but everything else Practice Better does in terms of scheduling and, whatever, get an email address.
Signing contracts, you can do in Practice Better. Any forms, all the Primal forms that we get when we graduate, you can build them in Practice Better.
And I would venture to say you could probably help them regardless of whether they want the initial investment of Primal Pro or not as well. Right, guys? If you kind of have to like pick and choose where you're going to spend your money, I have a feeling that you can kind of take the 12-week program that's already in the program that you already paid for, and Onelly can help you build out the outline and where all this goes and where the functionality might fit. And then you can spend your time writing that content if you want to. So there's ways that you can do this without spending oodles of money. But if I were to kind of really take a look at all in the monetary cost of getting up and running, depending on which courses you bought, because I know there's people that bought many courses, you can easily get your entire business up and running and off to the races for like, I'm trying to do the math in my head, like $7,000, including your certification. Where else
if
can you
it's
go?
Including the certification,
that's including the certification cost. Like, wow.
All you need is Canva, landing pages, make everything graphics, fonts, or the handouts, PDF. My little logo that I did it in Canva myself. I was playing around with it and I did it. You just gotta sit down and see where your priority will go. Am I
Right.
gonna start doing this? Do I need to hire somebody to help me get started? So at least I can have a few ideas. I can help you with that too, because I've been doing this for so long, and people. Julie was one of them. Sybil, another Primal coach, been
Yeah.
asking me, "Oh, Nelly, you know how to do this? How can I set up this thing? I don't know. I'm breaking my brain here, pulling my hair out. Can you help me out?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's hop on a call. Let's do it."
Yeah.
And yeah,
No, I love it. I mean, if you think about that, and I'm being like on the high side with that number, that's 5 clients, less than 5 clients, and you're profitable.
yes, and
Get
you're
up and
making money
running in
back.
3 days.
Yeah,
And again, that figure includes what you already paid towards your course. So, and that number's on the high side, and you're up and running in 3 days and 5 clients. It has you profitable.
yeah.
Molly McDaniels, is anyone doing the 2-day event coming up this week for Practice Better? I don't know what that is. Do you know what that's about?
Oh yeah,
Onelly?
they have a Practice Better program summit that they're doing with a bunch of other business people that they're teaching kind of like how to create your own course and whatnot. But yeah, I enroll into that one too, because I always, any webinar or anything that they're doing, I'm learning all the time. And I'm part of a membership that someone in the Practice Better group, if somebody knows, Shy Johnson, she's pretty popular on that Facebook group in Practice Better. She created a whole membership based on Practice Better stuff. And she's really good. I've been her monitor for a year now, been helping her monitor that. And I learned so much. And you don't have to break the bank. All you need is Practice Better, Primal Pro, Canva, Zoom, and you're good to go. You're good to go.
Love
That's
it. Little
that's
package. We need to build that out in our business resource center. Here's the things that for, pretty
getting
inexpensively.
started. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can kind of
because I
just,
didn't have that when I started. I
yeah,
didn't,
I
I
didn't
had to
either.
translate the whole thing myself.
Oh my gosh, if you guys saw the early iterations of like my handouts and the stuff I put together, you would just laugh because I didn't have any of that stuff either. This was a long time ago, over 10 years ago when I first started. Everything was in a Google Doc. It was
Yeah.
just, oh man,
So
those were
pretty.
the days. Okay,
Yeah.
so I got to let you go because we're coming up on the hour. Christine's saying, thank you so much. I have to go, but I'll reach out to you, Onelly. Julie's saying, so true. People often don't know how much cheaper it is now to start a business compared to
Yes.
brick and mortar. Yes, how much easier it is to be found if you can just get out there. And part of the reason people aren't out there is because they don't have a product yet. They don't have a
Yes.
program set up yet. So they're afraid to put themselves out there because they're going to be like, what's the work with me now? What I do? Let's just get it done.
Yeah.
And gosh, lean on your fellow health coaches that have come before you to ask for help and see what they're doing. Engage in the Facebook group with each other and help each other out. The biggest thing that I'm trying to drive home to in our Facebook group is get together in small groups, build little mastermind groups together, hold each other accountable, and stick with it because health coaching is going nowhere. It is growing like a weed. I was talking to the guys at Simplex today. If you're not aware, Simplex is the company that I've curated an internship program with. They will be bringing, and it's an unpaid internship. It is. Yes, you're looking at 7 to 10 hours a week unpaid, but what you learn is phenomenal. I've been talking to some of the coaches that are in it right now. They're like, oh my God, I love this. They're just so happy to be there. And then we're going to see where this goes. Every quarter, they're going to bring new people in. Part of what you learn too is this business development stuff. But we're committed to just helping health coaches be more successful, whether it's entrepreneurship, like what Onelly is doing, whether it's getting a job with companies like Simplex or Verta Health, or I have a list of dozens of companies actually that hire people. I'm trying to build a curated list for you guys. Laura, you said there's a company called UPure. So there was an organization that reached out to us. He was looking to find out more about our programs because he has so many people that come to him that are asking for a referral to a health coaching program. And he had narrowed it. He did a bunch of research. He narrowed it down to us and Functional Medicine Coaching Academy. And he booked calls with both of us, not telling us why he was interested in a call. And at the end of the day, he picked our program because of the depth of the health sciences that we teach. He said, believe it or not, Functional Medicine Coaching Academy doesn't teach any of that stuff. And he felt it was important. And the reason he was asking is because he has this platform. They have a direct to consumer kind of functional medicine platform. It's called Novus Health. But he has found a gap in the marketplace, a need in the marketplace for health coaches that need a place to land, that want a platform they can function from, where a big chunk of what it takes to get up and running in business is done for you. You still have to bring your own clients to the platform, but everything else is done for you. It's going to include, guess what? An account to practice better. Oh, it's going to include the ability to get labs done. So you as the health coach will be able to have whatever conversation you need to have with the client and have a conversation with the people at your peer about what's going on. They will recommend some labs. You are not in any position where you've got to like order labs. The client's going to pay for them out of pocket. This organization will run the labs and provide the protocol, functional medicine based protocols, along with supplement recommendations. And you'll have the ability to, you'll have your own store with them. Like it's a pretty neat, it's a few $100 a month to do it, but it eliminates a lot of those individual. You're not going to have to practice better directly, but you will be using it as part of the cost of this. And it includes video, it includes a lot of expenses that you are paying now, gets wrapped up in that. It's kind of neat. I'm trying to get them on Health Coach Radio or a webinar. So stay tuned on that, but check them out. And I think it's you as in the letter U, pure. But you can hit me up, Julie, if you want, and I can connect you to Ryan.
Yeah,
okay?
I like that. That's really interesting.
Neat, I know. And look, I mean, this is again part of our goal to curate the bridge to a career. So
Yes.
regardless of the direction you want to go, whether you want to start your own business, whether you want to get a job, or you kind of want something in between, right? Some stuff done for you. We're working on all of that on the back end here. I know you don't see it in your everyday life, but we're out here duking it out for you, trying to create space for primal health coaches specifically.
Yes.
Yeah. Onelly, this was awesome. Thank you so much. It was so fun to have you, and it was lovely to see your face finally.
Yes.
It's always been through email and whatnot. So folks, where can folks reach you if they want some help and have some questions?
They can reach me at my website. It's onellyhernandez.com. Or they can go to my Instagram account, AIP Conmigo, or Facebook. My name, it's Onelly Hernandez, and it's public. My profile, it's public, and they can find me in, chat with me.
You're in our Facebook group, right? You're in our Facebook.
They'll find me there on the Facebook group too.
Yeah, you can search members and look for Onelly. So thank you very much for giving us an hour of your precious time. We loved it. Thanks for joining us again, everybody. And if you want the replay, it'll be out tomorrow. All right. Thanks so much, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.